This video is going to go over scale factor dilations. Remember, dilations can either make the original image larger, or the original image can also shrink and become smaller in dilations. The first question we're going to look at, it says RST is similar to XYZ. Then the question actually says what scale factor was used to dilate RST to become XYZ. So our original image is the small one. It started out as a 2. This is where it started. And it turned into a 5. So this one got bigger, or it enlarged. So that means for sure that the scale factor has to be greater than 1. Scale factor must be greater than 1. When you go look at your answer choices and you check these out, answer choice A could definitely be eliminated because that is less than 1 whole. That would happen only if it was shrinking. So that one is out. Now the thing I can do is I'm trying to figure out what do I multiply with 2 to make it turn into 5. So one choice would just be multiply all the scale factor answer choices by the original image and see which one actually does give us 5 after the dilation. So when you multiply these out, the one that actually does give you the correct answer is B. The scale factor would have been 2.5 to make the original turn into a 5. One other thing you could do if you don't want to use the answer choices, you could always divide. You could say, how many times does 2 go into 5? You could divide those if you're using your calculator, 5 divided by 2, and then you could get the answer as well. Question number 2, it says, with the origin as the center of dilation, trapezoid JKLM is dilated by a scale factor of 1/4 to form trapezoid JKLM prime. The first thing I know right now is that looking at the scale factor being a 1/4, that tells me for sure that the new image is going to get smaller, or it's going to shrink. Now, to apply that, my choices are either to multiply by 1/4, or it could be 0.25. So that's your or if you use multiplication. Since the fraction has a 1 as the denominator or as the numerator, you could also divide by 4. Since it's 1/4. If the numerator had been something else, I would then have to do another step, but since the numerator is 1 and I only want 1 out of the 4 pieces, when I divide by 4, I get my answer. But on the safe side, dilations are always applied through multiplication. You could either multiply by 1/4 or the decimal version is 0.25. So now when I look at the question, it says, what will be the length of line JM for the new image? Okay, so when I'm looking at the old image and I zoom in real close, the old image started at 0 and it went to 9. So that tells me that this line right here, I can count the units, and it's 9 units long. Okay, if I come back out so you guys can see everything. I'm supposed to do a dilation, remember, of 1/4. So all I need to do is do 9 times 0.25. Or I could do 9 divided by 4. But I do know, remember, that it's going to get smaller. So my answer has to be smaller than 9. So when you look over here at the answer choices, there's one that stands out that's definitely not correct because it did not get smaller. So G would definitely not be right. Now, when you put that in your calculator, either 9 times 0.25 or 9 divided by 4, you get 2.25. 2.25 is answer choice H. Question number 3. A circle has a radius of 8 centimeters. So I could draw an image if you're a picture person. And there's my circle. Radius only goes halfway across. And it's saying that it's 8 centimeters. Okay, the circle is dilated by reducing the radius by 40%. So that means it's going to shrink. I'm going to reduce the radius by 40%. Anytime we work with percents, we change those to be a decimal, and then we can work with it. I'm going to reduce it by 40%. So, in my working with dilations, but reducing also means that then I would need to subtract to get the new amount. It's not going to be 40% of, it's going to reduce by 40%. So what I would do is I would take 8 times 0.40, because that's the amount we're reducing. It equals 3.20 or just 3.2. So this is the amount that I need to subtract from 8. So 8.0 minus 3.2. That would be 4.8. Okay, so this is the new radius. So if I draw a new image that's smaller, it's been reduced by 40%. This new image is now 4.8 for the radius. Okay, now I can read the last sentence. What is the circumference of the dilated circle? So this is the really, really, really important thing. If you do not read the entire question, you end up missing this. What is the circumference of the dilated circle? And circumference, the way you find circumference is you do radius times pi times 2. Okay, our radius right now is 4.8. So 4.8. I'm going to use 3.14 for pi, and then multiply it by 2. When you multiply 4.8 times 3.14, it makes 15.072. Then I can multiply that answer by 2, and you get 30.144. So that actually is what the question is asking for. That was a very, very long, tricky question that you had to read lots of information. So my final answer would be C, 30.14. Question number 4 says the drawing shows rectangle PQRS and its enlargement, rectangle PQRS prime. So PQRS is this small rectangle in the center. That's my original image. And it wants to know at the bottom, by what scale factor was the original image enlarged by? So since it's enlarged, we know it has to be greater than 1 whole. And then when I go look at my answer choices and I check these out, there is one that could be eliminated. It cannot be half because the shape got enlarged. So when I look at the original image, let's say I just take this line at the bottom, P to S, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The length of this line is 6. Now if I look at the new image and see how long that line is, I could compare the new image line P to S, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now the line is 12 units long. So if the original image was 6, and then the dilated image is now 12, we're trying to figure out what did we dilate by. So times something, and that one should be pretty easy for you guys. The scale factor would be 2. It just got twice as big. Okay, things to remember. Scale factor is always the amount you multiply by the original image to create your new image. Scale factor is always the amount you multiply by to create your new image. Okay, next thing, if the scale factor is less than 1, then the new image is going to get smaller. If the scale factor is less than 1, the new image will get smaller. And last one, if the scale factor is greater than 1, the new image is going to get larger. You guys got this.